There's something bad here in Derry.
Anywhere but Derry. Wow. That first line from the Welcome to Derry teaser, it just chills you, doesn't it? Sets the mood instantly.
Oh, absolutely. It's like an immediate punch of dread.
So today, we're diving deep into this new HBO Max prequel series. It's coming, fall 2025?
That's the plan. And think of this as, your quick guide to understanding what this whole thing is about. We're going to unpack the key stuff from that teaser.
Right, the details.
Yeah.
Maybe some surprising links, what storylines might be brewing, just getting you up to speed on why this prequel looks so intriguing.
And we're basing this on a really great breakdown, actually.
Basically, is to pull out the biggest clues, the really eerie hints about Pennywise coming back and, the whole dark history of Derry itself.
Let's do it.
Okay, so first things first, The setting. The trailer makes it super clear. Derry, Maine.
But the year, 1962.
Yeah, 1962. And that date, it just jumps out, doesn't it? If you know the IT lore. It does. Because it's exactly 27 years before the first IT movie, the one set in 89.
Precisely. It lines up perfectly with Stephen King's whole mythology, right? Pennywise surfaces every 27 years to feed on Derry's fear.
And setting it in the early 60s, too. That opens up a lot, doesn't it? Beyond just the supernatural cycle.
Oh, definitely. You've got the whole backdrop of the 1960s, the beginning of major social shifts, the civil rights movement, building steam.
Right. So there's this potential to layer in that real-world horror, the social tensions, alongside Pennywise.
And that feels very Stephen King, using the monster as a way to explore the darkness already present in society. The trailer kind of hints at that, looking at racial tensions, maybe?
Yeah, it seems like it might explore how Pennywise could even, amplify those divisions.
It's a potent mix. And speaking of scope, there are these whispers, these reports about how ambitious the whole series plans to be.
Oh. What are people saying?
Well, the buzz is that it's planned as a 3-season series.
3 seasons?
Yeah. So season 1 kicks off in 1962, like we said, but then potentially seasons 2 and 3 could jump back even further, maybe 1935, maybe even 1908.
Whoa. Okay, so they're really aiming for a full-on chronicle of Derry's nightmare history.
Seems like it. Like really tracing Pennywise terror across different eras, showing how this curse just endures.
That would be something, seeing how the fear echoes down the generations.
And, of course, at the center of it all, Bill Skarsgård has confirmed he's back as Pennywise.
Okay, that's big. I mean, his performance was just iconic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So unsettling.
Totally. And I read he was maybe a little hesitant at first, but something drew him back in. He mentioned wanting to explore, new dimensions of the character.
Interesting. And the trailer, it doesn't show him fully, does it? More like glimpses.
Exactly. Just his silhouette down in the sewers, maybe a sharp in the shadows. It's really effective, actually. Builds that sense of dread that he's always lurking.
Yeah, less is more sometimes.
Yeah.
And Skarsgård himself called this version hardcore.
He did, which kind of hints we might be in for an even rougher ride this time. Maybe even more disturbing.
Okay, chills. Literal chills. Now let's talk about how the trailer just grabs you from the start. That opening shot, the hitchhiking kid.
Oh, man, yeah. That scene, anywhere but Derry.
It's so simple, but says everything, right?
Yeah.
Instantly tells you this place is pure horror.
It really does. This traumatized kid just desperate to get away. You immediately know Pennywise is probably why. It's such an efficient setup for the town's vibe.
Absolutely. It's like a warning flare right at the beginning. This is what Derry does to people.
And then there's that weird little detail. The Bert the Turtle sign in the high school.
Right. The old duck and cover cartoon from the Cold War fits the 1962 setting perfectly, that nuclear anxiety vibe.
It does. But for King fans, Bert the Turtle, it kind of rings another bell, doesn't it?
You mean Maturin,
Yep.
the cosmic turtle.
Exactly. Maturin, the ancient turtle entity from the Macroverse, who's sort of an enemy of Pennywise in the grand scheme of things.
So is it just a clever Easter egg, a nod to the book fans? Or could it mean more?
That's the question, isn't it? Is it just set dressing, grounding us in 62? Or are they hinting at maybe bringing in some of those bigger, weirder cosmic elements from the books? It's ambiguous.
Intriguing, though. Okay, let's shift to something the trailer definitely foregrounds. The focus on a black family moving into Derry.
Yeah, this feels really significant, a central narrative thread, it seems.
And immediately you think about the context. 1962, a black family moving into what looks like a predominantly white town. They're outsiders on, multiple levels.
Right, newcomers and racial minorities, and creates this instant layer of potential conflict, of tension.
And the question becomes, is the hostility they might face just, the ugly reality of prejudice in that era? Or is Pennywise somehow involved, like feeding on it, making it worse?
That's the chilling possibility, isn't it? That Pennywise uses the town's existing racism as another tool, another way to isolate and terrify. It could be exploring prejudice as both a real-world evil and something Pennywise exploits.
It feels very much in line with King's way of working, using the monster story to talk about real human darkness.
Definitely adds a heavy, relevant layer. And then there's that creepy line, someone mentioning hearing voices in the pipes.
Ugh, yes. That gave me the creeps, because you instantly think.
Pennywise, that's his MO, right? Using the sewers, the drains, whispering to lure kids.
It's so effective because it makes the threat feel like it's literally embedded in the town's infrastructure, permeating everything.
Yeah, it's not just lurking out there, it's in the walls, under the streets. And speaking of unsettling, those smiles on some of the townspeople.
Oh my God, yes, the police officer.
Yeah.
The woman with the balloon, that wide, unnatural, wrong kind of smile. So disturbing.
Totally. It implies Pennywise's influence isn't just on the kids. He's warping the adults, too, maybe controlling them subtly.
It makes the whole town feel unsafe. Like the corruption is just everywhere. You can't trust anyone.
Nowhere is safe. And then, quickly, there was that flash of a scene. Looked like a kid being pulled into water. Screaming.
Yeah, it was fast, but really intense. It looked like a drowning, maybe.
It felt like a direct depiction of one of Pennywise's attacks. And it signals, I think, that the show isn't going to pull punches when it comes to the horror of what happens to the children.
Right. It seems ready to go there. Now, the analysis also suggested the trailer might be showing the Black Spot Fire.
Ah, yeah. A really dark piece of Derry's history from the book.
For people who don't know, that was a nightclub, right? Burned down in a racially motivated attack by like a KKK type group. Horrific.
Exactly. A terrible instance of human evil in Derry. The trailer had shots, didn't it? People seemingly trapped in a burning building.
Yeah, looked like it. So if they depict that, wow, it really doubles down on Derry being cursed by both supernatural and human monsters.
It drives home that idea that the town's darkness has deep roots, both kinds.
And reinforcing that idea of compromised adults. That scene with the cops telling the kids to keep your noses out of police business.
Yeah. That line just screams corruption, or at least willful blindness. Maybe Pennywise's influence again, making the authorities dismiss the danger.
And the consequence is the kids are on their own. They had to be the ones to face the horror because the adults won't or can't.
It's classic IT, isn't it? The kids see the truth. They have to band together.
Which leads to some good news, maybe. The fact that Muschietti's Andy and Barbara, who did the films, are heavily involved here.
Yeah, that's definitely reassuring for fans of the movies. Andy Muschietti is directing, 4 episodes? And they're both executive producing.
So you'd expect a similar feel, a consistent vision and tone with the films, which were, pretty successful.
Right. And they've also got Jason Fuchs on board. He worked on it, Chapter 2, wrote the first episode here, co-showrunner. He knows this world.
Yeah, he did Wonder Woman too, right?
Yeah.
So he's got genre chops. Seems like a solid team.
Feels like it's in pretty capable hands creatively. And the cast they've put together looks really strong, too.
Yeah, I saw names like Taylor Page, James Remar, Chris Chalk. A lot of talent there.
Which you need for this kind of ensemble story. Lots of characters, presumably lots of intense stuff for them to play.
Definitely. Now, something else the analysis picked up on was the music. That David Bowie song.
Oh, yeah, Fill Your Heart. But slowed down, made incredibly creepy.
It's such a clever horror trope, isn't it? Taking something cheerful and innocent and just twisting it into something terrifying.
Totally embodies Pennywise's whole deal. Corrupting innocence, turning joy into dread. It worked really well in the trailer.
And just for, period flavor, there was that movie Marquee, The Devil at 4.0.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra movie from '61. Nice little touch to cement the 1962 setting.
Adds that layer of authenticity. And apparently that movie's also about kids in danger. Maybe a little thematic link there, too.
Could be. Shows attention to detail. And for the real eagle-eyed fans, there might be familiar places popping up, like the Jade of the Orient restaurant.
Oh, nice. Little nods like that are cool. They help tie this prequel into the bigger IT universe, make it feel connected.
Gives that sense of continuity. But fundamentally, the core horror is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are disappearing.
Right. The trailer makes that brutally clear. That line, today was 4 months and they never even found a body. That means murder. Ugh.
Chilling. It just hammers home that this is Derry. This is what happens here. It's the cycle of Pennywise, the cycle of trauma.
And just like in the original story, it looks like we're going to follow a new group of kids who start investigating this stuff.
Yeah, a new losers club, essentially. They'll likely be the heart of the show, right? Their friendship, their bravery against this overwhelming evil.
And facing that adult disbelief, that inability to see what's really going on, those classic themes.
Exactly. It also sounds like the creators want to explore fear itself, maybe in a way that connects to today. They mention fear as a tool.
Interesting. So not just Pennywise using fear, but maybe looking at how fear is used more broadly, like to control people in society.
Potentially.
Drawing parallels between the supernatural horror and how fear operates in the real world, that could be really powerful social commentary if they handle it well.
Could be. And King often blended those things, the mundane and the monstrous, like that quick shot in the supermarket, something weird happening there.
Yeah. Finding horror right there in the everyday aisles, it makes it more relatable, more unsettling, because it's not some faraway Gothic castle, it's the grocery store.
That juxtaposition is always effective. And finally, you knew it had to be there.
The red balloon.
The red balloon returns. Pennywise's calling card.
Can't have IT without the red balloon, right? It's just instant visual shorthand for dread for him. Seeing it just confirms, yep, we're definitely back in that world.
Okay, so pulling it all together, what are the big takeaways from this first look? For me, it's really that 1962 setting, the potential mix of historical tension and Pennywise. That feels really fresh. And Skarsgård being back, obviously. Yeah, I agree with that. And for me, it's also the hint of this larger timeline, maybe exploring Derry even further back, and how they seem to be weaving together the supernatural horror with very real human darkness, like the potential black spot stuff or the focus on the family-facing prejudice.
Right. So here's something to chew on as you wait for this series. How do you think they'll really connect the specific anxieties of the 1960s, the social change, the Cold War fear, the racism, with Pennywise's own brand of terror?
Yeah, what does that blend actually say about fear? Back then, and maybe even now.
And what parts of the trailer stuck with you the most? What questions do you have about Derry's past that you hope this prequel answers? Lots to think about before we finally get to return to Derry. Or maybe try to get anywhere but Derry.